Okay, crumble fungus. Making fire with crumble fungus, unprocessed, just basically dried. Put it aside for a few days to let it dry. Brought it straight from the woods, and breaks apart. As you can see, it's pretty brittle. Some piece of flint. It's not even a good shape or anything. It's going to be a little awkward with this, but I'll just give it a go. And a broken file for steel. Okay, took me a while, but it did work. It's kind of hard to see this bright light. There you go. This thing, I love it. But one thing I hate about it it's the smell it makes when it's burning. It's absolutely awful. But apart from that, it's pretty cool. The good thing about this is also, you don't really need this. You don't need this. Many people carry compasses with them. Something like this, with a little magnifying glass. This isn't as good as a proper magnifying glass. Let me show you. If I put my hand here, and try to burn myself, it's not gonna work. Can't really feel anything. And I can assure you, this would definitely work if it was ×2 magnifying glass or ×3. This is just too large of a magnification, and I suppose that's why it doesn't work that well. But still, you don't want to be carrying this huge magnifying glass just to be able to make fire in a weird type of emergency where you have sunlight, and you know, it just doesn't happen very often. But if it does happen and you have a compass on you, you also have to happen to have this little crumble fungus. But just say something unusual has happened and you have these two on you. I don't know if you can see the smoke, but this fungus takes so little to create an ember. Let me show you. It's already burning. And this camera will occasionally have some trouble focusing properly, but Yeah, and the smell is absolutely horrible. But anyway, apart from the smell, crumble fungus, to the best of my knowledge, will work just as well as, even better in my opinion, as chaga or the true tinder fungus, because it's not as brittle. I mean, it is brittle and it's kind of striated, has these layers that actually peel off, but it also has this nice shell, outer shell, and I think that's what keeps it together. Okay, what you can also do is, as you may have noticed, this crumble fungus is brittle and it produces a lot of dust. So you can basically sweep this dust up, or you can just break it down like this straight away and don't play with it. Don't even try to keep it intact. Just break it down as it is, down to the powder or whatever the case may be. It doesn't necessarily have to be of any specific grit. So, and try to hit it like that. And there you go. One spark. See, that's all it takes. So we basically don't have to try and be smart like I was trying to be and get it to work with this classic method, I'd say. Yeah. It smells pretty bad, that's the only disadvantage of this thing, but if you're outdoors you won't have this problem. But yeah, basically you have it here, so it can be done pretty easily. It's difficult to put out. Let me try it again just to make sure this wasn't a fluke. Spread it out a little. What you need is the surface. Sparks are actually shooting everywhere, so you can't have a good aim with this. I mean, maybe you can, I don't know, I can't. They usually just go whatever the hell they want. So I'm just trying to keep this as wide open as possible, increasing the chances of a spark landing on the proper spot, the spot I want it to land in. There you go. Don't know if it's gonna... oh, it went off. Well, there was another one. Is. Took me a little while this time, but it's still there. There you have it. Yeah, I can tell this crumble, this fungus, is not the best one I've had. It was pretty difficult to catch a spark with this. I remember I was doing it a few days ago and it wasn't nearly as hard to catch a spark and make an ember as today. So I'm just gonna blame it on the fungus, because I'm doing everything exactly as I did yesterday or 2 days ago. The only difference is the fungus, because that one burnt and I just needed to use another one. So yeah, as you can see, it can be done, but it's definitely not the easiest way of making fire. I guess it could be used in an emergency if by some stroke of luck you happen to have a cramp fungus to hand, and you can always use your Mora knife or whatever carbon steel knife you have on you. Find yourself a nice piece of flint, and it's probably still gonna have to wait a few hours to days before you can use it, or well, ideally make a fire before and then save it for later in case you say have one last match and don't really have anything else coming. This could be used for a long time if you can find them. These fungi usually grow in clumps, and if you find one, it's pretty much guaranteed there's going to be more than just one. So it's just a matter of drying them off, processing them, I mean by scraping the hard layer and roughening the surface, preparing them for catching sparks. As I say, it's not very reliable, as you've seen. One crumble fungus may be catching fire pretty easily, like the one I was talking about, which I used yesterday, and the other one may be just a pain in the ass like this one, just wouldn't do anything. I mean, it finally caught, but it took way too long, you know, to be a successful attempt. But still, it worked in the end, so I can tell it does work. Maybe I just need a little more practice. So you keep practicing and have fun.